This drink, I like it.
I know, it's great, right?
Another!
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to a brand new episode of Film on Tap. It's our first episode in the new year. Thank you for being patient. We are ready and rip and roaring. We are ready to go. We got a big episode today. But obviously, before we jump on in, I am joined by my wonderful co-host, Nancy and Andres. How have you guys been? How are the holidays? How was New Year's? How was Christmas? And what are you excited for in general?
Been a bit. I took like a week and a half off from work. That's the longest I've ever taken off in like forever. So it was nice. I had to go back home. I just sat and relaxed most of the time, did nothing. So it was nice.
Nice. Yeah. Okay.
That's
How about
good.
you, Andres?
Yeah, no, we just hung out with the family and had a nice little Christmas. Ended up getting food poisoning for about a week or so,
Jesus.
so that was fun. And
Sorry.
and then the New Year's happened, and thankfully I was feeling much better by then. But funny thing is, actually, probably one of the highlights was. Me and my in-laws, we love to get together and play board games, but we officially decided to get into the D&D element. So we actually played a little D&D during the holidays, and that was a ton of fun. So yeah, I think now my sister-in-law is studying up on becoming the next dungeon master because I was like, oh, I know being a DM is the hardest thing. So you know what? I'll go ahead and I'll do it. And everyone seemed to have fun. So now my sister-in-law is studying up to be the next DM for our next campaign. So yeah, it was a great one, and just got to hang out and just have a really chill 2026, starting the new job, and everything's going really great so far.
Cool.
Very, very nice.
How was Thailand?
Yeah,
Yes,
I was about to say.
I would say that's probably the big thing that happened over the holidays. Christmas was great. New Year's was nice. But just got back from Thailand where I was for 2 weeks. So that was wild in all the best ways.
Wow.
Amazing place to go. Got to go to different cities and see amazing things. Got to, bond with elephants and go to different islands and try all different sorts of food. It was very, very cool. Like definitely once in a lifetime kind of experience. So that was really cool. But I am happy to be back in New York. I need, if I don't see a plate of rice again for a while, I'll be okay. It's kind of nuts. But I'm happy to be back in the swing of things. I'm excited about the new year. I think we got some exciting things in store. And speaking of exciting things in store, we got some fun movies to talk about today. Some fun movie trailers. We got a big movie we're going to be talking about, 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple, which has been getting rave reviews. So we'll see if our opinions align with those rave reviews. And then at the end of the episode, since we didn't get a chance to do it at the tail end of 2025, we're going to be giving you our top 5 of 2025, as we always do each and every year. So that's going to be fun. So without further ado, we're going to jump into our first trailer of the day of the show. And we're going to be talking about the new trailer for Masters of the Universe.
Yes.
Which it's a remake, right? I'm assuming.
Yes,
Because there was one with Dolph Lundgren, right?
Yeah, there was one that came out in the 80s, and this is sort of like a new adaptation of it.
Yeah, so this is a new version of the film, which stars Nicholas, I can never pronounce his last name, Galitzine?
Oh, no, that's...
All right. No one's helping me out.
Okay.
But he's the new He-Man. We have Jared Leto as Skeletor because, of course, I think Idris Elba's in there as well. And you have one of the actresses from Riverdale. I'll never forget that face. So we got our first look at the film here, which is directed by Travis Knight, who did Bumblebee. I forget, did he do something else? I feel like he directed something else, Travis Knight.
Oh, yeah, I'm blanking.
All right, you look that up. Nancy will look up how to
Kubo
pronounce
and
his
the
name.
2 Strings. He did Paranorman.
Yes.
Kubo and the 2 Strings, Missing Link, The Box Trolls. I remember that.
So he did a lot of Leica stuff. Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
Did a lot of animation stuff before Bumblebee.
Gotcha. Yeah, but very talented director. But this is our first peek at the movie. And what do we think about this one? Is it on our radar now? Are we excited for it? Let's start with you, Nancy.
Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but I actually really love the 80s version of this movie. It's so dumb. I love it. This looks really good. I'm also getting Superman vibes in the sense of like he's here on Earth, he's kind of nerdy, can't even pull up the sword when he finds it. So it looks good visually. It also looks great. I didn't realize Jared Leto was supposed to be Skeletor though.
Yep. Now you know.
Thankfully, I don't think Skeletor talks a lot from what I remember in the 80s version, at least. So that's good. And he looks great visually. And they have the Green Tiger in there. I don't know if he has a name. I never watched the cartoon or anything else other than the 80s version, and I know some characters from it. So it'll be interesting to see what take they're going to do with this, because it seems very, very different than what we've gotten before. But yeah, so far I'm liking what I'm seeing. So looks good to me.
Okay. Andres, what do we feel?
Yeah. So this movie has just been in development hell for so long. And honestly, certain pitches just didn't sound good or in the spirit of the cartoon, or even in the spirit of the 2002 Cartoon Network reboot, which I'm a big fan of. And anybody who hasn't seen it, go check it out. It's on Amazon Prime right now. It is probably the Batman animated series of the Masters of the Universe franchise. But I will say, I'm actually a big fan of the franchise as well, too. So much so to the point that Skeletor is probably one of my favorite antagonists of all time. And one of Jen's first gifts to me as soon as we arrived here over in Boston was literally a little Skeletor that just reads, "Remember, I love you." And also just, oh man. So yeah, so many things I love about the original franchise that I think is hard to adapt into a live action film. But I think the big X factor in this is Travis Knight, because Travis Knight is one of those filmmakers that knows how much nostalgia to put into a franchise before you kind of curve it back a little bit and you kind of go, okay, there's a nice balance here. And so far from everything we've seen with this trailer so far, just even having Adam be on Earth for a little bit, but still kind of maintain a little bit of what we know about Prince Adam in the fact that he still has the pink shirt and he still is named Adam. And I love the fact that there is also a pronoun joke in the trailer, because he is He-Man, but but like they have the pronoun right in front of him. It was like he/him. And I'm like, oh, that's a really nice wink at his name, but also while being, a little modern. Like, I thought that was great. And then also just seeing all the various different characters. I mean, Cringer showing up there, and we have not seen Battle Cat yet, but we've seen what Cringer looks like before he becomes Battle Cat. So I just know that's going to be badass when it comes down to it.
That's just the tiger with the armor, right?
Yeah, Battle Cat is the tiger with the armor, but Cringer is what he's like without the armor. So he's kind of a coward. So I love that aspect.
Gotcha.
But yeah, everything about the trailer so far is leading into the right direction. I've always wanted to see this universe be sort of what Lord of the Rings was to book fans, where it's like, you know what? Here is this awesome world that this entire generation has grown up with. And the fact that it's being treated with the reverence and the seriousness that it should be, just from the trailer alone, I think is a step in the right direction. And also, I've heard so many pitches on what Skeletor looked like, or what Skeletor was going to be behind the scenes, working in various different studios and stuff like that. And then seeing this version in particular makes me more excited than anything I've heard previously. And honestly, it's one of those where I'm like, man, I just hope to God Jared Leto doesn't Jared Leto and ruin this movie. You know what I mean? But,
Exactly.
but so far, everything about this leads in the right direction. And I'm really excited to see this. And, it's going to be an interesting June. That's for sure.
So I have no experience with Masters of the Universe. I have not seen anything.
Really?
So I literally have no idea what this is about. I don't know any of the characters. This is like my first kind of introduction to this world and these characters. So I went into this trailer pretty fresh. But I'm really liking what I'm seeing. Like, I'm a sucker for like cosmic fun, or like cosmic drenched in the 80s kind of fun, which this looks a lot like. It definitely looks like it's not taking itself too seriously. The action sequences look fun. Visually, it looks really great. And I do like the look of Skeletor. I feel like it looks badass. And I just feel like a lot of the cosmic, qualities of this world really just kind of shine through, and I'm really excited about that. It just looks like a fun time at the movies. Like, not sure how this one's going to do at the box office. I'm not sure how big the fan base is for Masters of the Universe. I guess we'll see. But I think that it looks like a ton of fun. I think Travis Knight was a great choice for this. And I'm really curious to see what he does with this world and with these characters. And yeah, I mean, I'm in. I'm definitely going to check this one out. I'm a sucker for these kinds of movies. So, you know, it's almost giving me like Flash Gordon vibes in a way too. Like, it just feels very like, you know, cosmic fun, just, you know, like Saturday morning cartoon kind of thing. So I'm in. I'm excited for this one. So pretty short, succinct thoughts there.
Sweet. I like it.
There you go. But now we're going to shift gears to something that is definitely interesting, and that is the new Mummy movie that is coming out this year from director Lee Cronin, who brought us Evil Dead Rise, the latest installment in the Evil Dead series, which was really fun. This is his version of the Mummy. This is not the Brendan Fraser Mummy, even though everyone wants it to be. This is not, it doesn't even look like it's trying to be like a Universal monster movie. It looks like it's trying to be its own thing. And we got our first teaser trailer for the film here, which is being produced by James Wan, I believe. So what do we think about this teaser? Let's start with you on this one, Andres.
I mean, I think the teaser does a great job in terms of just giving us a tone and giving us a vibe. I truly don't know what to expect from this movie. And the thing is that just even just on the narrative, or sort of on the basis of what the synopsis is, where, you know, it involves a family that has lost a child, and the child has come back in some way, shape, or form, but with this curse. I think that's an interesting concept from what I understand. But I think for me, the big thing is I'm not sure about the director, Lee Cronin, really, because as much as I really loved some of the staple moments of his last Evil Dead movie, I kind of felt that the third act kind of fumbled the ball a little bit in terms of just kind of providing a nice resolution and a nice way to sort of top everything off. And it just kind of ended in a way that felt very easy and felt very, I guess this is what the fans want type of thing. But yeah, I mean, here's the thing with the Mummy in particular. This one is ripe for at least some reinterpretation, but I'm getting mixed feelings about what Universal is doing, because not before this movie has come out, they've announced the Brendan Fraser movie is going forward. And I don't know, it almost just kind of feels like Universal has kind of dropped ship with this movie a little bit, because this was supposed to be a reboot of the franchise. And it's, I don't know, if you have a reboot and then you announce that you're going to do a legacy sequel right afterwards, it kind of feels a little weird for me in particular. So truthfully, the trailer looks just fine for me, but in terms of everything that's going on behind the scenes, I don't know if Universal has much faith in this movie, really. And that to me is kind of a big red flag. I will check it out when it comes out in April, but I'm cautious, very cautious about this one now.
Gotcha. I think it's interesting. It's being released by Warner Brothers, so like it's very interesting how. Yeah. That's the thing I was intrigued by. I was like, that's why I was like, I guess this isn't like your typical Universal monster movie because it's being released by Warner Brothers. So I don't know if they like got the rights or something. I'm not really sure how that's working out, but we'll see, I guess. But Nancy, what do you think about this trailer?
I'm actually really looking forward to this. If you take this away from it being, if it was supposed to be a reboot, whatever it is, and you just take it on its own, I think it looks really good. I love the fact that they're taking the Mummy and making it true horror. Because if you guys remember when the Brendan Fraser Mummy came out, I thought it was a horror movie. Like, it very much looked scary and like a completely different tone than what it actually was. And I actually remember we were asking my aunt about it, and she was like, "Oh yeah, it's really funny." And we're like, "What?" Like, this didn't even seem like a movie that was appropriate for us to see as kids, and turned out to be fantastic. So I love that they're flipping it on its head and making it really true horror. You have James Wan, who's great with that kind of stuff, and what's his name, Cronin, who did Evil Dead Rise, which I really liked. I think directionally he did great with that. So with what little we've seen, I like how it looks visually, and the tone that they're going with this. So I'm actually really looking forward. Now we'll see when the actual trailer comes out. Maybe we'll change my mind, but we'll see.
That's kind of what I feel as well too. Is like we didn't see much, and it's kind of it's the basis of what a teaser is supposed to be, which I think is interesting though. But yeah, but
from
yeah,
what we
on.
did see, I'm optimistic because Evil Dead Rise, like that had some gruesome shit in it. And just the little flashes we saw in this, I'm like, okay, I think we're gonna get the same tone, which I appreciate. Like if we're gonna do the Mummy, do it completely different. Because you have to, because we've had so many. And if they are doing the Brendan Fraser one again, you have to go a completely different direction.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very intrigued by this. Like, I know there's been a big rumor floating around that apparently, like, there was like a test screening that James Wan walked out of because he just really hated the movie. And then, like, it tested really poorly. But like, I'm not trying to give in to those sort of like rumors because that could be really false. But like based on this teaser, like I like the different approach, like especially with the Mummies, like especially after the Tom Cruise one, like let's go a different direction.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? But like,
which that movie is officially 10 years old this year now.
Not old enough. I like the new approach. I like the concept of like, like what happened to Katie, of how it's almost like a body horror kind of thing. It seems like they're kind of going for here, which it just looks more supernatural. It looks more creepy. It looks a little bit more gruesome. I think in terms of a teaser trailer, I think it definitely is very interesting. It had me hooked where I was like, okay, I'm definitely interested to see where he goes with the story. But I think like Nancy, I feel like I definitely need like a full trailer to really kind of gauge whether or not I'm really excited for this one, if I'm really going to be into the story. But I like what Cronin did with Evil Dead Rise. So I'm very interested to see what he does with the Mummy here. I'm excited. So we'll see what happens come April, but I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm hoping for a good Mummy movie, at least something that tide us over until Brendan Fraser makes his glorious return. So we'll see what happens with that one.
We need to get shirts that say cautiously optimistic because that's
honestly
around here.
At this point, I feel like it's just like we've been burned so many times.
I know, but you know what? The
Mummy's
fact that
movie
we're
in particular.
Still optimistic,
we're positive film fans.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but something that makes me a positive film fan is seeing movies like 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple, which we're going to be talking about today for our main course here. We're going to be diving into our spoiler-filled thoughts about the movie. We're going to be diving deep on this one. So if you haven't seen 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple, you might want to steer clear of the rest of this episode, come back after you watch it, or if you just don't care about being spoiled, of course, continue to watch or listen to this episode. So we're going to start off with our general thoughts first, and then we're going to dive into some more spoiler-heavy stuff. But let's start with you, Nancy. Generally, what did you think of the movie? Were you excited for this one after seeing 28 Years Later last year? Hit us with it.
Oh yeah, after seeing 28 Years Later, I could not, this couldn't come out soon enough. I was so excited. I love that movie. It's so good. And I think this was on par with the first one. I love that it picks up right from the end of the first one. My biggest worry when we saw the trailers was it kind of seemed that they were going to go back and retell the story from a different point of view, or we were going to get a lot of backtracking, and they didn't do that. So I was very happy about that. I think one little thing I'm missing that we got from Danny Boyle was all the visuals. In one specific scene in 28 Years Later, we didn't get as much of that with this director in this version. So to me, that was a little bit lacking. But other than that, acting was great. The story was fantastic. Still visually, it was still good. Still just as gruesome. My God, there was one particular scene just in the very beginning. I was like, I didn't really need to see that. That was fine. I could have done without that. So it definitely kept on par with all the as gruesome as it was last time. We got this, and probably even more so in certain scenes. I will say what everyone is saying, of course, is that it wasn't quite a zombie movie. We didn't quite get the zombies in here, but that is what I loved about the first one, is that we saw it from the human perspective and how it's really affecting them. And I think this one kind of ties that up nicely and seems that we're going to go more towards getting back to the zombies as the bad guys in the potential next one. So I absolutely love this movie. And like I said in our chat, freaking A, give Ralph Fiennes an Oscar for one specific scene. If they're Yes. Oh my gosh. Which we'll talk about later. But that was just my favorite part. And I felt like at the end it really picked up and I just absolutely fell in love with this movie. It was great.
All right, so Nancy kind of liked it. Andre?
Kind of like it. Yeah.
Just a wee bit.
Yeah. So walking into this movie in particular, I mean, I was really, really hyped up after watching 28 Years Later and the high that sort of left us off on. And then knowing that this movie was coming in 6 months later, which it didn't even feel like we had much time to miss it. But, you know, to a certain extent, I'm okay with that. However, knowing all the behind the scenes stuff that Nia DaCosta was going to be directing this movie actually made me super excited for it. And honestly, I was kind of blown away by where they went with it in the direction from DaCosta and also from where Garland's script decided to go from. Because the first movie was very much about like, how do you find humanity in this inhuman world? And then this one went the total opposite direction where it's like, yeah, how do you find the inhumanity in humans right now? And also, spoiler, no, very minor spoilers, but they go into certain places with the infected in this movie that feel so off on paper, but when you see it, it is perfectly executed. And I think Garland really does go into some bold places with the storytelling, and DaCosta's direction only amplifies that. And then, as Nancy said before as well, too, Ralph Fiennes is freaking incredible in this movie. And just the relationship between him and Samson as well, too, I thought was a standout. But I think we have to give our flowers to fucking Jack O'Connell for being such a madman in this movie. And he is truly terrifying at points. And I feel like there's not a weak link at all in this entire movie. And like everything just works so well. It is scary. It is very, very tightly paced. The writing is fantastic. The direction is fantastic. It's, you know, people have complained about the fact that there's not many zombies in the movie. And honestly, as a big fan of the 28 franchise in general, I didn't feel that wanting in the story at all. And honestly, I felt that this movie was a superior movie to 28 Years. And I just freaking loved it from top to bottom. Like right now, if it wasn't for the fact that we have a snowstorm going on New England right now, I would be on my way to go see it again. Like I'm chomping at the bits to go see this movie again. I absolutely loved it.
Yeah, I mean, I was very, very excited going into this one because I thought 28 Years Later was like this amazing, you know, reinvigoration of the franchise. Like it just showed there was plenty of gas left in the tank, and I felt like Danny Boyle and Garland reuniting was just such an exciting prospect, and it did not disappoint remotely. So I was really excited headed into this movie, and this is just such a wonderfully surprising sequel where the direction it goes in terms of the storytelling and the characters. Like it keeps you on your toes in terms of like it goes to some just unexpected places that I just did not foresee in this movie that I feel like on paper could have went disastrously wrong and could have ended up with a really shitty sequel. But what we get here is something I think is even better than 28 Years Later. And I know there's people who've complained about the lack of zombies or maybe that the direction isn't as, you know, visually dazzling maybe as Danny Boyle's, but I actually enjoyed DaCosta's direction a lot here. I like that's a little bit more restrained, not as frenetic as Boyle's. I feel like we needed that for this story because I felt like it would have been distracting if we had that kind of direction for this story that Garland was trying to tell in the sequel. And the performances from everyone are just incredible. I mean, Ralph Fiennes is just insane in this movie. Just one of the best actors working today. And Jack O'Connell, in my opinion, I think is like the spiritual successor to Gary Oldman. I just feel like he is just crushing these villain roles. He's doing so good. And just there's just so many great scenes with him. And also his scenes with Ralph Fiennes are electric. Like they're so good together. I think Alfie Williams has a lot more to do in the sequel, and I thought he was fantastic. I mean, just everyone in the cast is great. But like finding the, you know, really kind of portraying the humans as the monsters in this one, I thought was really interesting, a really fascinating exploration to have in this film and for this sequel. Because I think if it was just a retread of the first film, I think I wouldn't have enjoyed this movie as much. And honestly, Samson and, you know, Kelson beating heart of this film, man. I did not expect that relationship to go where it went. but that was such an incredibly like heartfelt and interesting, relationship to watch unfold. And just this movie just never went somewhere that I was expecting. And everywhere it went, I just found to be more and more fascinating. It's such a well-paced film too. I think it's better paced than the first film as well. I just didn't want it to end. It just flew by for me. And I really, really loved it. And I'm very excited for hopefully they make a third film, even though this one isn't doing great financially. But I'm hoping word of mouth helps it do well in theaters, because where it leaves us off is very, very exciting. And I really want to see that third film. But yeah, I love this one. So I'm excited to talk about it a little more in depth.
Yeah, really quick, just to kind of go off on the fact of whether or not we're going to get this, the third film. I think because of the Netflix deal with Sony, I think we're going to be in a good spot to possibly get a sequel. But because of the fact that this movie, the two movies, the two 28 Years movies, they both shared a budget. So it was, even though this movie is not necessarily doing well financially right now, I think that they're kind of already in an okay spot to maybe go ahead with a third film, but they're going to have to trim back the budget quite a bit. So who knows? And also this franchise has not necessarily been one that has been overly bombastic. So if there was hope for a third film, I think I'm at about maybe 60 to 30 on whether or not we're going to get a sequel to this film.
That's only 90%.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. I can't do math, guys.
What's the other 10%?
What's the other 10%?
The other 10% is just you're just like, oh yeah, we're gonna get
it. That's funny.
Oh my God. Jesus.
Oh my goodness.
But
yeah.
Anyway, besides Andre's lack of math skills, what were some of our favorite bits of the movie? Like, what were the things that really stood out to you guys?
I mean, we got to talk about the scene. The scene was my favorite of the whole movie.
I mean, that was just incredible.
Oh my gosh, that was so well shot. And I just love him looking through the records and finding Iron Maiden. Just like, yeah, this is Satan's music. It was so good. And I love that he was like spraying drugs in their face so that they'll just be on board with whatever the fuck is happening. And to go from that, like, again, on paper, that may come off very cheesy and weird and like not good at all. And it was just done so well. And also to go from that craziness to then it settling down into the conversation that they have, and then him realizing that it's Spike, that's one of the fingers, and that he saves him, that he could have gotten off scot-free, gone about his way and let them go their way, and he wouldn't have known the difference, but he takes the time to save Spike. And I thought that it was all around such a great scene.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And just flat out down to the execution and flat out down to the reactions of all the characters as all this craziness is going on. And it's one of those things where, like, anytime I watch a trailer, I try to throw away some of the moments that I've seen in certain things. So like, I completely forgot about like just the fact that Ray Fiennes is like just going crazy, and like all of a sudden there's fire all around him, and then the second he takes the torch and he lights the entire tower on fire, you're just like, oh my God, what is going on right now? And then like I love the look on the Jimmys, where especially Sir Jimmy Crystal is just going like, what is going on? And then after all that stuff has happened, he's all on the drugs, he just lets himself go on. He does that little jig, and I'm just like, what is going on in this? This is insane in all the best ways possible. But I think it all works as a storytelling device as well, too, because the other thing, too, is that they really established Kelson as somebody who is incredibly lonely in this world, and the fact that he doesn't really have an opportunity to entertain. So when he gets that moment where he's like, you want me to act like Satan? All right, I'll act like Satan, and I'll make sure you guys never forget about it.
I mean, he also got threatened with like, getting his intestines cut out and having to eat them. So I think it was a little more than just, I would like to entertain some people.
But to a certain extent, he could have just been like, hello, I'm here. But he literally made it into a production. He is a theater kid in the apocalypse, guys.
He was just sitting on all those pyrotechnics. He was waiting for his shot.
Exactly. He was like, what do we do about this? And I love how Jimmy also, when, the performance is done, and he's like, all right, and what's your like first commandment? I think it's this one and this one. And then when he goes, he's like, no, I think that was it. I think that was all the commandments you had, right? I think we're good here. Like, I love that whole interaction with them. Just the juxtaposition of like, you go from this guy being Satan to Jimmy, just like, well, all right, I think we're on our way now. So great. Yeah,
Nope,
great
no
interaction.
no more commandments. And then all of a sudden, but I do love the fact that while he's saying the first commandment, he's like, so no back talk, guys. It's just like, oh my God, you're kind of messing up the game just a little bit here and there. Like, Jimmy is such a petty little diva. And I just love just like certain moments that come out from him. But yeah, oh God, it's such a great scene. And also I think the lead up to it as well too, like just the small little moments that they throw in, like right when Spike is looking down at the temple, and then they cut to a shot of like the one skull on the very top, which we know is his mom. So we're just like I don't know. It sort of gives you that illusion of like, yeah, she's staring down at you right now, man. So you need to run your ass out of here when you first chance you get, because this is evil.
Or even just getting a little bit of backstory in the sense for Jimmy and him talking about like his dad, his mom, and his family. I think it was a really nice moment. And I like when he says like, you're really easy to talk to, because the whole time I was thinking that. I was like, dang, he's getting everyone to open up to him. This is great. A little therapy session. So I like that they added that in, so we get a little bit more in depth with what Jimmy's gone through.
Yeah, sorry, Tom. I know you're probably dying to say some stuff.
No, I'll just sit here.
Yeah, but really quick, going on that scene as well too, I do love the fact that there's always been a question in my mind in terms of why the Jimmys are Satanists to begin with. And when you have a kid that was raised in the religion and a kid that was raised in the faith, and the last thing he saw was his father, who is a man of faith, being like going outside and leading these demons outside. That like I was like, oh, okay, that's at least like a good like little tie into why this Jimmy would be such a Satanist and why he believes his father is Satan. I mean, even though to a certain extent you kind of feel like it's definitely a little bullshit, but you sort of see how he sort of started that mentality up, if that makes sense. And I thought that was actually really well told in terms of even expanding on some of the things we saw in the last 28 years movie as well. So yeah, no, I thought that was a really great way of bringing that back all into the fold.
Yeah, I just think it just shows you like growing up, like when all that stuff went down, like it just kind of corrupted his childhood. Like he like lost that childlike innocence, and it just warped his whole view of the world. And like it just helps shape like who he is. Obviously, it doesn't make you like the guy, but I feel like it gives him just a little bit of humanity where like you can understand why he became who he is, for, obviously for much worse given what he went through. But like, you just see how that kind of trauma like completely warped his view of the world and turned him into this evil person. And like I said, I love how you're seeing like just kind of the evil people in this like post-apocalyptic world, where a lot of these people are sometimes even worse than these monsters that are roaming the area here. And I like that we explored that a lot more than seeing like a bunch of zombie stuff in this one. But I still think for me, just the highlight, any scene with Kelson and Samson, I just fucking loved. Like it was just like that whole dynamic was incredible. Like how he was trying to like treat the infection, how they almost like he like was discovering these things of how like, the rage and everything can be quelled with morphine, and how the mind can be quelled with like, treating it like it's a sort of psychosis, which I thought was a really interesting way of kind of, spinning the whole zombie thing on its head, where like you were slowly seeing, like Samson remember things about like, a train ride and things about his childhood and everything. Like it was like really heartwarming stuff. Like it was like actually like I was like, I really feel for this character. And like,
and you can even see his eye physically, like his eyes were red.
Yeah.
At the beginning,
they were becoming more human.
Yeah.
Like, I just thought that was really interesting in that whole scene where like he's on the train and he's getting that flashback and then you hear him talk for like the first time, or, you know, where he's just kind of like, you know, I don't have a ticket. I don't know. Like, it just like broke me. I was like, what?
My jaw was on the floor when that happened. I was like, holy shit.
Because
Like,
when he
my
said
God.
moon, like that was impressive.
Yeah.
You know, because he's about to murder him out of mercy. And it's like,
Yeah.
oh shit, never mind. But then I think on the train you hear it very clear, like very much exactly how he would speak before, not like broken up or anything. So yeah, that was very jaw dropping.
Yeah, and I think that was such a better way of explaining away, or at least explaining a cure to the infection far more than 28 weeks did, which I kind of felt that was so stupid in 28 weeks later, where it's like, if you have a different eye color, you don't get infected. I'm like, I don't buy that. There's not necessarily a science behind that. It's just more of, it just feels like just because it just felt very arbitrary. Whereas I feel in this movie, all the leads towards the cure for infection or the immunity to infection felt vaguely believable based on all the scientific stuff that we've been seeing in modern day, where it's like, you know, they've used, THC to cure certain illnesses. They used, psychedelics and like mushrooms to cure certain things as well too. And I just felt that this was a furtherance of that concept. And if you take it in the fact of like, it's someone using morphine to cure the infection, it's like, okay, I get it. And I find it very believable in this sense. So I don't think that came off as a cheap end for me as well.
Yeah. Do you think Dr. Ian's really dead?
Yeah.
I think so.
I'm pretty sure. I feel like they made that pretty clear he was dead, which is a bummer.
I was kind of annoyed. Well, yeah. Like, I knew it was going to happen, but I still didn't want it to happen. But I was also kind of annoyed. I'm like, dude, you couldn't like write this shit down and tell Spike about it, or like tell someone like, hey, I may have this cure. These are my thoughts. Please take this to someone.
I think he did. I mean, they do show him writing down his notes. So I think there is some document of that available, but is anyone going to find it? Yeah. That's the big question.
What if Samson ends up being a doctor in his previous life and he's like, let me go check this shit out. And then he figures it out.
I mean, they kind of showed that he was a kid when he got the infection. So who knows? Who knows?
No, he was an adult, right? Because it shows him he was a kid on the train and it cuts to him being an adult. That's when he says, I don't have a ticket.
I think he got infected when he was a kid, and I think that adult was the sort of...
He would only be like 20-something if he were a kid. Samson does not look like he's like late 20s, early 30s. He looks like he's at least in his 40s. I'm just saying. So he's like 20-something.
Infection can
Do
age
the
you.
math.
Yeah.
Do the math.
I don't know who's got a ruler. How big is a schlong?
Not that math. Why are we doing that math?
I think Andres just needs to get that off his chest.
Hey, you got a loincloth at some point. You figured it out.
Yeah, and I love the fact that was something that like Kelson just left right there, and it was like, oh, he immediately had the instinct to do that. Like that was also another point in terms of like, oh, he's slowly starting to become human as well. And I thought that was really great. But oh man, if we could talk about the Kelson, just his entire moment when he finally feels like he has gotten a kinship to Samson. He's like, you're kind of my friend now. And just the montage of them dancing together was...
Yeah, that was great.
Again, on paper, that should not freaking work. And they just make it work so seamlessly, even to the point where one of the Jimmys, I forget, it's Jimmy Inc., I believe is who sees them. And
I don't
she's like,
remember. Good for you for remembering all their like sub names. I was like, I don't know, girl Jimmy, tall Jimmy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Other Jimmy.
Jimmy.
But Erin Kellyman, who plays that Jimmy, I love the look of shock in her face when she's like, I saw a red guy dancing with an alpha. And it is like, does Satan actually exist in this world now or something? Like, I just love the look of horror in her face where she's like, Jimmy might have been right. Like just that element, but just seeing Kelson, seeing his whole relationship with Samson just spur from that as well. And his entire dialogue when he's going, listen, I only have enough morphine to keep you in this state for 2 more weeks. So I don't know what we're going to do after I run out. And you can just hear it in his voice where he's like, in 2 weeks, I won't have my friend anymore. So it was just so heartbreaking to hear that and to see that moment where he was about to euthanize him. And then all of a sudden he's like, listen, if there's any semblance of you in there and you can understand me, say something. It's like moan. Oh my God. That was all really great.
Listen, if you can ask a zombie for consent, you can do it anywhere. Just putting it out there.
PSA today. Oh man, but that moment though, like when Kelson's like about to breathe his last breath and like Samson goes like, thank you. I was like, oh man, like, just great. And then he's carrying Kelson's body away. Just fucking amazing stuff. Like what, like just like again, on paper, like that whole thing should not work. And it just becomes like the big highlight of the movie for, I could have watched a 3-hour cut of them just interacting and I would have been super happy. But I will say that was great. And I also really enjoy the dynamic between Spike and Erin Kellyman's character, where, you know, like she doesn't want to be in this cult. She's just kind of doing it for survival. And like, she's basically trying to like help him through so that he doesn't like lose it or get killed. And I just thought that relationship was great too. I mean, I feel like that was another highlight for me as well, where I just felt like that was an interesting way of like having two people who don't want to be a part of this cult experiencing this horrific group of people led by this, you know, Satanist. I just thought like the, you know, bouncing back and forth between that whole dynamic and then the Kelson Samson stuff, like it really is just like a two-hander kind of story. And like, it could have been so boring, you know, on paper, but in this, I just found it to be way more interesting, frankly, than the first film.
Yeah. And also just even going on sort of the path of the Jimmies as well, too. I mean, just starting off the movie with Spike's initiation into the group. I've kind of been a little nervous to see what happens, because I'm like, Spike is really great at like, you know, shooting the arrows and stuff like that. But in terms of one-on-one combat with somebody, I was like, I don't know if they're about to kill him off right now, and we're not even going to really see him all throughout. But I do love his first initiation scene because it comes off as just pure blind luck that he was able to survive that. And, you know, knowing what he knows from the island as well, it just felt like he coin flipped lucky at that point. And also,
that's what
just
I was trying to figure out if like he just happened to hit his artery, or like that's something his dad taught him, or like hunting wise, he was just like, I don't know, aim for the major arteries. Because it is very specific that he like pulled down his pants and then like got him with a knife right there. So.
Yeah.
Speaking of his dad, very surprising that there's nothing with him in this movie.
I know, that's what I thought too. I was like,
what did his dad be looking for him? Because I think at the end of the last movie, you see him like going out to try to find his son or whatever, and then like nothing in this movie.
No, I think he got stopped by the current in the causeway, and I think. I mean, who knows what has happened, but I'm pretty sure if we get a third film, we're going to get more answers in terms of what happened, because they do have a very specific rule on the island that is basically just, once you go out there, we cannot send anyone else out there for you. And Jamie is also one of their most valuable assets on the island in terms of going in and finding stuff. So who knows if they were just like, listen, your son is dead. You have to move on from that because all these people rely on you. And also you get this.
I feel like he'd be like, fuck you, bitch. I feel like he would.
There's no way he's just going to let his son just be like, on his own.
I don't know. It's one of those things. It's an interesting question to ask for the next film. So I'm hoping that they do get back to that, because honestly, I think also Aaron Taylor Johnson has been on a roll lately with some of the projects that he's been choosing. I mean, post Craven, of course, but
I was like,
yeah. I mean, again, Nosferatu. I thought that was really great, and also he's going to be in Werewolf as well too at the end of the year. So yeah, I mean, I think we're going to see some strong stuff.
Before Craven? I thought it was after. No.
Well, he shot that after Craven, because Craven was on the shelf for like 2 or 3 years, and then it was just like, oh man, like anytime Johnson showed up in something, it was just like, okay, let's see. But then I think after
Tom, you didn't like him in Nosferatu, right?
I wasn't a huge fan. I felt like his performance is all over the place.
Oh, I thought he was great.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I got to give it a rewatch, but I don't know. I felt like I loved everyone else in the movie, but he kind of like stuck out, unfortunately.
A little bit. But yeah,
But,
I mean, I do hope we get him in the third one because it doesn't really make sense. We didn't even get like a little flash of the island, a little like, oh no, my son, where is he? Like something. One scene.
I don't just, but anyway, speaking of the ending, speaking of someone we did get to see,
Yes.
my boy Killian's back.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, I knew his voice immediately before he even stepped in. I was like, I know that voice fucking anywhere. Show him.
I mean, even though that they said he was going to be in it, I was still excited.
It was still great.
Excited. I wish they would have done
daughter.
it a little bit of more surprise, though, in the sense of like, I don't know, revealing who he is. It was kind of just like, oh, here he is. But I will say, everyone in my theater still gasped when he showed up on screen. Everyone was like, oh, yes.
Oh, dude, I'm so excited, and I love that moment where like he's seeing like Spike and what's her name?
Kelly.
Kelly, yeah, Kelly.
Yeah.
Where like they're getting chased by zombies, and his daughter goes like, do we help them? And there's a little pause. He's like, of course we do. I was like, I love that.
Yeah.
I was like, that's a great way to end it.
Yeah, and that's why I think we're going to get back to it being more of a little bit of a zombie movie when we get into the third one, especially. But I'm going to be pissed if they bring Cillian Murphy back and then they just kill him off in like the first.
I hope not. But it's possible though.
I'm hoping to God that Selene is still around somewhere. I hope to God they didn't kill her off between 28 days and then 28 years. I'm hoping she's still around in some way, shape, or form, because I just loved that actress's performance in the original. And she seems like the type of person that would survive in this landscape. I mean, especially with the fact that we sort of got a semblance of that characterization in the one of the pregnant women in the farm, which we haven't even talked about that farm sequence as well. But anyway,
we'll get back to that.
Yeah, we'll get back to that. But I just love the fact that Killian's introduction into the series is very much just in the same way that Frank and Hannah were introduced in the original, where it's like, people need help. When you can do something, do it. And I just love that little element. And also the fact that he's teaching about fascism and fascist regimes as all this stuff is happening. And he's just like, yeah, of course. Yeah, we can't forget the mistakes of the past in the future. And I'm like, oh my goodness, Garland, you're on another level with your writing right now. Thank you.
Repeat history if you forget it. Everyone remember that.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I love that. So good.
Yeah, and I do appreciate that. I was also worried that the reintroduction of Cillian Murphy was going to be something that was more tied into the Jimmies. For a little bit, I was my fan theory was that one of the Jimmies was his daughter, and I thought that maybe is it Aaron Kellyman? Oh my goodness, yeah, Aaron Kellyman. Oh my god, yeah. I thought that Aaron's character was going to be Jim and Celine's daughter, and
never.
I know, but I'm so glad they didn't go down that road. I'm so super glad. So yeah, I feel like
it makes sense because a lot of the Jimmies feel like lost boys, in that sense of like they don't have a home, they don't have family, they don't have anything. They are blindly following this cult leader because they have nothing else, which is how cults tend to happen. So,
oh yeah, and it's so clear that when Spike kills that one Jimmy, and then the one thing he's screaming is, "Oh Jesus, oh Jesus!" and he's like, "Why are you calling for those cunts?" I just love that moment because all of a sudden, right there, Jimmy just sees, yeah, if there was even a chance we were going to help you, now we're not going to because we know you're just bullshitting us now. So yeah, I thought that was particularly a great moment as well.
Yeah, and speaking of that farm scene, Jesus Christ!
Oh my god! I think that's why I had a hard time with the movie at the beginning. Not because it wasn't good, but because there really was such anxiety of like, I don't really have one to root for right now. Like I'm rooting for Spike, but he's fucked because he's stuck in this cult. Like, Samson and the doctor over here just fucking around and trying to figure this shit out. I was like, there's so much going wrong right now. It's so bad. And then once they get to that scene, they're like, oh god, this is so gruesome.
But I love that that moment where like they the young guy like fight anyone he wants, and then he picks the girl, and then literally she's like, "You picked me because you thought I was weak, didn't you?" And then literally, I was just like, "Wow, what a fucking scene!" Like it was a great way of showcasing just like the horrific nature of this cult, but also it just really kind of plays with your expectations too. And I just thought like just a really great like haunting scene.
But really quick, talking about that young guy as well. Do you guys know who that was?
No.
That was Andy Serkis's son.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because it was funny because like Andy Serkis on like his Instagram was like promoting Bone Temple, and I was like, is he in it? Because that would be amazing if he's in it. And then you see the movie later, and then it's like, oh no, his son was in it. Oh, that's great. And like, man, that like he had almost like the same exact mannerisms that his dad had in certain things. And I was like, oh, good for him. And he's also, I mean, apart from all that, he was terrific in that performance as well. And I really bought just how freaking scared and terrified he was in that sequence. And just, oh God, I will say the VFX or the prosthetic work and all that other stuff in that farm sequence as well. Not many movies can make me physically uncomfortable, and that farm sequence did that multiple times. Like when they cut over to what was going on to some of his other friends, I'm like, I don't think I need to see this in a movie ever, but you know what? There you go.
I appreciate that there was a lot of cutaways too. I was like, I don't need to see the full process.
Yeah.
And them just hanging there while his friend, the one guy, is left. I was like, oh my God. But I love that he took him out with a flamethrower, essentially.
Ooh, that was so good.
Great. Such a great scene.
But yeah, guys, what do you think ultimately you'd give this movie? I'm curious, rating wise, what would you give this one?
I'm gonna go 4. Story wise, I like it better than the first one. I don't know. I just like the first one a little bit better for some reason, but I think this has good momentum to go into the third one. But yeah, 4, maybe a 4.5 on rewatch.
Okay, Andres.
Yeah, I felt that this movie surpassed my expectations in almost every way possible. It gave me something I wasn't expecting for this franchise in terms of just the direction from Nia DaCosta, the execution, the writing from Alex Garland. It not only delivered a different sequel, but for me personally, it delivered a superior sequel to the original film. Personally, it is my number 2 of the franchise. Number 1, of course, being 28 Days. But I think this movie did well in terms of just giving us something new, giving us something far terrifying than we could have imagined, especially with the Jimmies, and giving us so many flavors that it makes me super excited to see where this franchise will go forward in this final installment. And hopefully Sony does continue and they do let Garland and all the team members continue on with this. I hope to God Danny Boyle does come back, because apparently Danny Boyle said that one of the conditions for making the third film was that he would direct the final film as well too. So there you go on that front. But overall, I really enjoyed this movie. It is definitely a 4.5 out of 5 for me. In fact, had it come out in 2025, it would be in my top 5.
Yeah. For me, like, I went back and forth with it in my mind. I was like, I was trying to come up with things that I didn't like about it, and I simply just like couldn't find anything. So this was like a 5. Genuinely, like, I loved this movie so much. I didn't want it to end. I just loved the performances. I loved the story, the script, the direction. Like, everything was just firing on all cylinders for me. I liked it substantially more than the first film, which I loved to begin with. So that was really saying something. And it is a big highlight of the year for me. I would not be surprised if this cracked my top 10 come the end of the year. I really loved the sequel. I felt like it went to some places I really wasn't expecting, and delivered like an emotionally potent but super satisfying sequel that just once again shows that this franchise has plenty of places left to go, plenty of gas in the tank, and I can't wait to see where the story goes next. I really want that third film, and I'm hoping that we get it. But yeah, really love this one. But speaking of like best movies of the year, it is finally time to give our top 5 of 2025. So we're going to be diving into our top 5 here. We're going to give our 5, 4, and 3 off the bat, and then we'll give our 2 and our 1. So I don't know which one of you guys want to go first. So I think Andres has volunteered as tribute.
I volunteered as tribute.
All right. Go for it, dude.
All right, so my number 5, and here's the thing with all these, I will say I love all these films in various different capacities, but I still love them all. So there you go.
No one's gonna come at you, Andres. It's okay.
Yes,
you're in a safe space.
Very safe space. All right, number 5, Sinners. I absolutely loved everything that Coogler did with this film, and in terms of giving us just such a different interpretation of sort of vampires in the South. I really loved every element of it, and just seeing this in IMAX was probably one of my favorite movie going experiences in 2025. So absolutely Sinners is my number 5 movie. My number 4 is Weapons. And absolutely loved Weapons. Had me on the edge of my seat the entire time. In terms of just all the surprises with the mystery itself and Zach Krieger's writing, his direction. I mean, even the performances from everybody like Brolin and Julia Garner as well too. I mean, it is just a superb mystery thriller for me. And that's my number 4. And we are saying our number 3s as well, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And my number 3 absolutely is One Battle After Another. I absolutely fucking love this movie so much. I mean, again, a 3-hour movie. I mean, almost 2.5 or almost damn near 3 hours. And for me, every single time I watch it, it speeds by so fast. I think Leo is fantastic in this movie. I think Benicio del Toro is great as the sensei. Honestly, has been one of my favorite characters this year is Sensei. And, just, oh my God, just, I don't even know where to start with the female supporting cast. They're all terrific in this. Oh my God, I'm blanking on the girl that plays Leo's daughter in the film. Chase Infinity. Yeah. I thought she was great in this in terms of, showing us the various different elements between, just believing what her father has done in terms of as a revolutionary, and then also knowing what the legacy that her mom left behind. I thought that was all really incredible, really great storytelling. And it's probably my second favorite Paul Thomas Anderson movie, I would say, right behind Boogie Nights. I love Boogie Nights, but this one gave it a run for its money, and I absolutely loved One Battle After Another, and that's my number 3. Oh, and I can't not talk about One Battle After Another and not bring up Sean Penn, who is fucking incredibly hilarious in this movie as well too, and it's just hilarious, but also very, very just threatening and just such a great antagonist all the way through. So definitely loved One Battle After Another.
All right. How about you, Nancy? What's your 5, 4, and 3?
Well, I would like to preface that this past year I probably watched the least amount of movies in years. So you're going to hear some big names here. I actually haven't seen One Battle After Another yet. So that's a good example. That's a good example of how little movies I have seen. But, give Leo for Oscar for that whistle alone, Good for you.
Yes.
Good for you. I may have not seen the movie, but I've seen that moment. Okay, so my number 5, which I actually put a typo in my notes, which is hilarious because it says "Wake Yo Dead Man," Wake Yo Dead Man, which is a better title. But Wake Up Dead Man, my number 5. I think it's great. The fact that they keep pumping out these stories and they're all fantastic and they're not getting dull at all is just amazing. And I love the story in this one that we got. It was really good. Number 4, I have Sinners. Of course, we talked about Sinners in length on the show. Fantastic. Great acting. Just beautiful, beautiful movie. I can rewatch that movie, honestly, just anytime. And that's a big factor in movies that are my top 5, the rewatchable factor. And number 3, Long Walk. That movie fucked me up. It was really good. Great movie. Slightly traumatizing. But yeah, definitely deserves to be in that top 5 of the year.
Okay. All right. So
go for it, Tom.
All right. So my number 5 here, starting off with Frankenstein. I loved this movie. I think Guillermo del Toro crushed it. This is the movie I think he was born to make. Jacob Elordi, Oscar Isaac, incredible in the movie. One of the best looking movies I saw last year too. And it's just a devastating adaptation of Mary Shelley's novel. I just think it's so damn good. And I love Guillermo del Toro. I'll see anything the guy does. Such a passionate, talented filmmaker. Love it, love it, love it, love it. At number 4, I have a movie, I think it was one of the last movies I saw last year, which is Marty Supreme, which I thought was absolutely fantastic. I thought Timothée Chalamet, in my opinion, gave his career best performance. I've never seen him that good, and I've seen him deliver some outstanding performances, but he just carries that movie effortlessly, and he's so damn good in it. And I loved it from beginning to end. It just had me on the edge of my seat, and it gave me that same anxiety and stressful feeling I had watching Uncut Gems or Good Time. I just thought it was great. And at number 3, I think I have like the biggest kind of surprise of the year for me in terms of just how much I enjoyed it, which is Eternity, which I think is unbelievably good. I think it's just a pitch perfect rom-com that also works as a great just romance film in general, with 3 pitch perfect performances at its center with Elizabeth Olsen and Miles Teller and Callum Turner. It's a devastating movie, but it's also super funny and heartwarming. It's beautiful to look at as well. It's just like it was delightful from beginning to end. It put a huge smile on my face, and I loved it so much. And I think it's one of the most underrated movies last year as well.
Did you say trom-com?
What? No, rom-com.
Oh, I think
I
you
heard
said
rom-com.
trom-com. I was like, is that like a trauma comedy? We're making something
It is
new
now.
Okay, trom-com. I like it. It's like a rom-com, but also traumatizing at the same time.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. We've coined it.
There you go.
Perfect.
And I love the fact that Eternity is such a short film, and yet it gives you so much in terms of world building within 5 minutes that you're like, I could easily just see a movie about them in the afterlife right now. Like, it's so interesting. But yeah, absolutely loved it. So I guess my number 2.
Are we going 2 and 1 or just
2 and 1?
2 and 1.
Okay, go for it.
All right. So my number 2 is Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. I mean, just everything about this movie just spoke to me as a fan of the character and as a fan of Guillermo del Toro. And it just felt like this to me felt like the end game of his entire career, where he's like everything he has learned has led up to this point. And I mean, I couldn't have predicted that Jacob Elordi would have been as great of a monster as he was, and that he would absolutely work. So definitely with a bullet, number 2, absolutely. And everyone can probably guess what my number 1 is. My number 1 is Superman. And the thing is that here's the thing. Here's the thing. For myself, I think a top 5 reflects on what you love as a person, and then also what
You
it
don't
is
have to defend it to us.
No. But here's the
I
thing.
feel like you're just trying to say there's a difference between like what you enjoy most versus like what's good
Your
movie.
favorite.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And for me, that was Superman in so many ways. And I heard someone describe it best, and I wish I could remember who said it, but someone had described, oh yeah, of course you love Superman because Superman is like Barbie for men. And I was like, yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That's hilarious.
I was like, yeah, I absolutely love that comparison because Barbie was great. And it was very life affirming in so many capacities, and about, a goody
lots
two
of different
shoes.
Outfits.
Yeah.
Different capes.
There you go.
It fits.
There you go.
It all fits. But for me, just the movie meant so much to me as someone who loves the character and also someone who loves comic book movies in general. It is without a doubt my favorite thing that has come out this year. And it is the thing that brought me the most joy in theaters. So absolutely, it is number 1 with a bullet.
Okay. Superman. How about you, Nancy? Number 2 and 1.
Ooh, number 2, I have Weapons.
Hey.
I absolutely love this movie. It's so good. And the fact that it's the same director from Barbarian, it's just as weird and twisted as Barbarian, but so different, which I absolutely love. The directing was fantastic. The way they set it up with each different perspective worked out great. The horror aspect of it, very gruesome. It's just such a wild movie, and it works out fantastically. And the fact that we're going to get Resident Evil from this director, love it. Bring it on. So Weapons number 2. definitely. And then my number one, 28 years. I loved it.
Oh, wow.
I just think it's really good. I think it was such a great setup for this next movie as well. Yeah, it was just a beautiful, beautiful movie. Good job, Brie. I said I feel like it definitely started this franchise. Because I'm not gonna lie, I'm not the biggest fan of 28 Days Later. It's fine.
That's fine.
All right.
This surpasses it like by miles for me. So my apologies to the original, but this is better. So yeah, 28 years.
All right.
There you go.
Yeah. And as for my number 2 and 1, at number 2, I've got Sinners. I loved it
Nice.
very, very much. I think it's just such an incredibly made movie, and it was just such an original movie too. It was like a breath of fresh air when it came out early last year, and I'm glad it's had the staying power and cultural impact that it has. I think Ryan Coogler is just an incredible filmmaker, and I just love how passionate the guy is and just the creativity he brings to any story he tells. And Michael B. Jordan's incredible. The performances across the board are amazing. And it was just one of those movies like you just had to see it in a movie theater. It was just like such a great theatrical experience. And it's one that's really just kind of lingered in my mind throughout the year. So I loved it so much. And it's got crazy replay value. But my number one, in my opinion, was just the most underrated movie last year. The movie I revisited the most, the movie that it just brings me so much joy and emotional satisfaction anytime I watch it. And that is The Life of Chuck, which I think is genuinely one of the best Stephen King adaptations out there. I think it's such a heartwarming, beautifully made movie with great performances, great direction from Mike Flanagan, but it's just such a touching story and life-affirming kind of story where you watch it, and anytime I've watched it, I walk away from it just like wanting to be a better person, and just wanting to enjoy life more, which I feel like the best kinds of movies make you feel that way. And I loved it from beginning to end. It's just such a good, heartfelt movie, and I couldn't recommend it enough. If you didn't see it last year, which you probably didn't, check it out, folks. It is so damn good.
Absolutely worth it. And, just Mike Flanagan is just such a master, and I absolutely loved that movie as well. So there you go.
Yeah, folks, there you go. That is our jam-packed episode. Lots to unpack in this one. So, let us know in the comments what your favorite movies of last year were, what you thought of 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple, if you saw it, and what you think of the trailers for The Mummy and Masters of the Universe. Let us know down below. Always want to hear your thoughts. But before we head on out, guys, where can the fine people find you on the interwebs? Would you like to get your scroll out, Andres, or...
Oh yeah, no, I'm done.
It's a new year. It's a new year. Time, time to be concise.
Okay. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram as Galagos. You can find me on twitch.tv as Galagos88. You can also find me on the High Voltage Media YouTube channel, where I'm doing several different retrospectives. And you can also find me editing for our mutual buddy, David Jandoyan on Cinemojis. And that's essentially where you can find me now.
Sweet.
There you go, Nancy.
Fast.
Love it. PLL_Band-Aid on Twitter and Instagram. You can find me here in the comments. Also over on Cinemojis every once in a while, helping out with that. Sometimes competing as well. Every once in a great while. Yeah, that's about it. Leave comments. I love them.
All right. And you can find me on Facebook and YouTube. Just type in Tom Chattelbash. You will find me. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Tom Chattelbash, TikTok, Chattelbash Reviews. And if Letterboxd is your thing, you can find me on there at T Chattelbash. Thank you guys for tuning into this episode, whether you watched it or listened to it. We appreciate it, especially if you tuned in for the whole thing. We know it's one of our longer episodes, but appreciate you sticking around. And we'll see you for our 100th episode next time, which very, very exciting. That's going to be a great one. I'm really looking forward to that one. So make sure you tune in for that one. And as always, thank you for tuning into another new episode of Film on Tap, where we've got the tap that never runs out. Take care, folks.
Bye.
Moon.